Right, BlueHost. New series. Let's kick it off.
February 2026, Reddit. I just got my BlueHost renewal. Same plan, same features, 4 times the introductory price. October 2023, renewal quoted at roughly 20 times the introductory monthly rate. Site taken offline during the dispute. November 2023, similar shock after a cheap first year. January 2025, extra charges for email added at renewal. October 2025, renewal too expensive, migration begins. February 2026, the 4 times renewal. April 2026, SSL bait and switch, described as focused on upselling over product performance. The renewal price pattern is not a billing error. It is the business model. Introductory pricing attracts customers. The renewal rate retains revenue from customers who have invested time and content into the platform and face a non-trivial migration to leave. Documented since at least 2023. Still documented in April 2026. Matt Heaton and Danny Ashworth founded BlueHost in 2003 in Provo, Utah. The early BlueHost was a shared hosting provider built around WordPress compatibility at a time when WordPress was growing from a blogging platform into the dominant content management system. As WordPress expanded, BlueHost grew with it. In 2005, WordPress.org officially added BlueHost to its hosting recommendation list. That recommendation meant that anyone who visited WordPress.org looking for a host would find BlueHost near the top of the suggestion. It drove significant sign-up volume and made BlueHost the default answer in beginner tutorials, blog posts, and YouTube walkthroughs for years. Endurance International Group, EIG, acquired BlueHost in 2010. EIG's model was to acquire hosting brands across the market, HostGator, iPage, FatCow, and others, centralize the operational infrastructure, and extract value through scale while maintaining separate brand identities. The hosting community developed a specific interpretation of EIG acquisitions. Brands that had been independent and well-regarded tended to become less impressive after acquisition. Not through immediate collapse, but through gradual drift, slower response times, more upsells, less investment in individual brand quality. In 2021, EIG merged with Web.com Group to form Newfold Digital. BlueHost and HostGator became Newfold's flagship brands alongside Network Solutions, Register.com, and Web.com. Newfold serves approximately 7 million customers across its portfolio. The BlueHost brand remains intact. The engineering and support decisions that affect BlueHost customers are now made within a conglomerate of hosting brands rather than by a company whose primary product is BlueHost. WordPress.org still recommends BlueHost in 2026. The hosting community's practical interpretation, a signal that BlueHost meets basic WordPress compatibility standards, not that it is the optimal choice for serious WordPress deployment. The failure trail from 2023 through 2026 documents. 3 categories: renewal price shock as a structural pattern, support failure when sites go down, and operational interference with customer files. October 2025, multiple sites are down, support tickets are opened, support tickets are closed without resolution. Each escalation cycle requires 48 to 72 hours, managers are inaccessible, phone support is not available on the plan tier in question. This is the support failure pattern at BlueHost. The infrastructure that resolves genuine problems is not available on entry and basic tier plans, which are the plans most affected by the renewal shock, and the plans most commonly held by the small business owners and beginners who most need reliable support when something breaks. The October 2024 removal of phone support from basic tier plans is the most concrete evidence of the direction. Users who signed up with the understanding that phone support was available discovered at renewal time that it had been moved to a higher plan tier. The connection between this change and the renewal shock is direct. The renewal forces a choice between paying more for the higher tier or accepting reduced support on the basic tier. May 2024. A user's live website is replaced by BlueHost's default placeholder page. Their index file, the file that tells a web server which page to display to visitors, is deleted or replaced without explanation. the user posts asking what happened. No explanation is provided in the public thread. This category of incident is rare, but disproportionately damaging. Unilateral changes to a customer's hosting environment without notification or consent, regardless of the cause, are the category of failure that produces the hardest trust recovery. BlueHost's genuine competitive advantage in 2026 is WordPress onboarding for users who have never built a website before. The installation is one click. The post-installation experience includes a guided setup wizard. The dashboard is customized for WordPress management rather than raw server administration. For a complete beginner, BlueHost reduces the number of decisions and technical steps between wanting a WordPress site and having one. This has real value for real people who do not want to manage infrastructure. The hosting stack runs cPanel for server and account management, the same control panel used across most shared hosting providers. For users migrating from another cPanel host, this is a familiarity advantage. Free domain registration for the first year and a free SSL certificate are included on most plans. Performance benchmarks place BlueHost behind both SiteGround and Hostinger in independent testing. Uptime is documented at 99.95% for the final quarter of 2025, reliable for small sites but not category leading. For a hobby blog or a portfolio site with modest traffic, BlueHost's performance is adequate. For a growing e-commerce operation or a high-traffic WordPress installation, performance limitations become visible before the renewal bill arrives. The WordPress.org recommendation carries a specific weight in 2026 that it did not carry in earlier years. The community debate has shifted. In the years before the EIG acquisition and the Newfold consolidation, the recommendation was interpreted as a quality signal from an authoritative source. The current interpretation in most experienced hosting communities is that it reflects basic compatibility and a commercial relationship with the WordPress recommendation program, not that BlueHost is the best available option for WordPress hosting. The distinction matters because the recommendation is the primary reason new users find BlueHost, and the renewal shock is the primary reason they document their regret. BlueHost is the correct choice for a specific and narrow situation. A complete beginner who wants a guided WordPress setup, who does not want to evaluate infrastructure options, and who is making a decision for a personal project or low-stakes site where performance and long-term renewal pricing are secondary to getting started quickly. For everyone outside that situation, the documented record in 2026 points elsewhere. Small business owners whose websites generate revenue need to know that support tickets can take 48 to 72 hours to escalate, that phone support requires a higher tier plan, and that the platform's reliability track record includes periods where sites went down during unresolved ticket cycles. The October 2025 thread, where a user had multiple sites down across a multi-day escalation cycle with no resolution, is the representative experience for a BlueHost customer whose site breaks at a critical moment. Developers who have evaluated hosting performance benchmarks consistently find faster and more reliable options at comparable pricing after the introductory period. Anyone who has read a hosting comparison written by someone with professional experience rather than by a first-year affiliate marketer will find BlueHost described as the cautionary tale rather than the recommendation. The WordPress.org recommendation remains on the list. For beginners who use WordPress.org as their primary research source, it will continue to direct traffic to BlueHost. That is the brand's most durable competitive asset in 2026. The recommendation predates the EIG acquisition, the Newfold consolidation, the removal of phone support from basic tiers, and every renewal incident documented across the research period. It reflects a relationship established when BlueHost was a different company, under different ownership, with different operational priorities. BlueHost is the most recognized name in beginner web hosting. Recognition and trustworthiness are not the same thing, and in 2026, the documented distance between them at BlueHost is considerable and consistently growing. That gap is the story.